So we are here at the quarterfinal stage and we have got yet another extra draft to do for the Global Cup. Now, at the end of the group stages, I gave away the Celtic shirt, but do not forget, before match day 7, everyone that's involved in the Global Cup 3001 will be entered into the St. Pauli giveaway raffle. The link to join that league and play along is in the description of the video. If you haven't even opened an account yet, again, that link will get you sorted. It's free to play, it's free to enter. But this now very much becomes a game of playing the matchups and playing the fixtures. As we look towards the quarterfinals, we get another 50 points to get another 4 players. We've had that for the group stages, we had that for the last 16. Again, the quarterfinals, we'll get it for the semi-finals and of course the final. So a lot of people did their draft in the first round after the group stages, bearing in mind the tournament tree and trying to predict winners and losers. But as now we get to the quarterfinals, it's a race to the final now, it feels like, when it comes to the draft. I think everyone expects France to beat England, and it doesn't matter who wins between Morocco and Portugal. France will probably remain favourites to progress all the way to the final at this stage. But the other side of the tree, Croatia could prove to be a banana peel for Brazil, but Brazil have been one of the most impressive teams in the tournament, and I would back them to progress. But Brazil progressing past Croatia, what does that look like? Are they going to beat them in 90 minutes? Does it go to extra time? Does it go to penalties? And Netherlands-Argentina is probably the most coin toss of a match that we've got in this round, because Holland have looked good in spells and in moments, and they've got some good players in good condition and good enough form. Argentina, until the last game or two, did feel just like the Messi show, but recently with Julian Alvarez, Enzo, Alexis McAllister, Rodrigo de Paul, a few of these guys really stepping up their game post-group stages, then it's a really difficult game to call. If the best Holland team turns up, they could progress. If the best Argentina team turns up, then you would probably say maybe even 80% Argentina team might have enough just because they've got Messi to go on and progress. Morocco-Portugal feels like a low-scoring affair, but there probably will be lots of passes and tackles and that sort of thing, so depending on different positions, this might actually be a good game to target. And like I said, England-France, on paper, it does look like it should be a mega high-scoring affair, but I see England playing 5-4-1 or something like that for the first hour or so and try and keep the game tight and not give France space to run into. But as the game goes on, there's only so long you can resist that. And I think this is going to be Bellingham versus Mbappe. If Bellingham can run the midfield, because it's probably France's weakest point, then I think England have got every chance. And I think if England beat France, I would make them favourites for the entire tournament, because if you can beat France, then I think you can beat anyone else that's here on this list, But France, Mbappe, Dembele, Griezmann, Giroud, even guys like Rabiot, Theo Hernandez, they've got so many amazing performers so far in the World Cup that they're very hard to look past. Now, when I look at my own actual team that I've got available, before I go into the extra draft, I want a Diego Costa in the last match day, thanks to Richarlison and Paqueta. So I actually think he's the best goalkeeper to have in this match day, if it's not Bono. But I think this is the lowest scoring game that we're going to get in the round, and that's kind of what you're after for the goalkeeper at this stage. In defence, the existing options I have, I've still got all my defenders really. I've still got Van Dijk, I've still got JJ, and I've still got Theo. And it's just really, do I want to play any of these 3, or do I want to get somebody in the Portugal game? Because I think all 3 of these guys start, and I think, maybe not Juranovic, but Van Dijk's got a good chance of playing a very good match. Maybe Juranovic does. Theo, in the last match, did seem to be much more defensive, and it seemed that he was not being his usual bombastic self. So I'm not sure we're going to get any more big peaky scores out of Theo Hernandez in the knockout rounds. So I feel conflicted in defence. So we'll see what defenders we've got available on the draft. In midfield, I've only got Paqueta. And I think, if there's a midfield you don't want to play against in the Global Cup, it's probably Croatia. So I'm not too enamoured with Paqueta for this week, but we'll see. I think Griezmann is impossible for me to drop because his AA is phenomenal and he only really needs one decisive to get in amongst it. I've got XP in my favour on him as well. And I do want and expect France to beat England, of course. And Richarlison does feel very much like the striker, the new R9, everyone's calling him. So, again, I find it really hard to drop him against Croatia. I think it's a player that is very unlikely to be substituted unless he's got on the score sheet and Brazil are winning the match. And I do think, considering the impact players will have across 90 minutes and potentially extra time, is a very interesting detail to consider. Now, when I go into the extra draft, I kind of know already, forwards, I can live with Griezmann and Richarlison. I'm not too, and even I've got Lautaro in reserve. So I'm not actually worried about forwards like I was mentioning. Midfield for me is the one where it feels like the spot. Now, I think, again, it's very dependent on the result, but I think Bellingham is the pick, you know. Him, maybe Enzo could have a good game against the Dutch. Maybe De Jong could have a good game against Argentina. You could say the same thing about De Paul. Modric, of course, and Di Maria and Alexis McAllister. These guys all come into the reckoning, as does Bukayo Saka. But then once you get beyond that kind of top tier there for this extra draft, I don't know if there's really, unless you've got a midfielder you're already married to, I don't think many of these guys are worth consideration at all, to be quite honest with you. For me, I do fancy the Portugal game, and I do fancy getting a midfielder that will be involved a lot at both sides of the pitch, you know, getting the ball, circulating around defence and trying to get it into the final third. And I think Bernardo Silva has been quite quietly underrated in this tournament so far, and I think he'll be a good differential. I think Bruno Fernandes alongside Jude Bellingham is probably the best pick for the game week, but I don't want to pick Bruno Fernandes because he plays for Man United. I'd rather pick Bernardo Silva because he plays for Man City, so I'm going with Silva. Now, when I come into defence, this is the next one. You know, like, do I stick? Theo and Virgil are both good for it, right? But I don't think any of them have got a clean sheet, and the likelihood of getting a decisive is quite slim for both. Maybe Van Dijk's got some corner set piece prowess in this match potentially, but I don't think it's anything to really make note about at this stage. And then again, like I said when I was talking going into this tournament, how Theo was such a great pick. Again, when I look around at all the other defence that's available, no one here terribly excites me, particularly with the fixtures that we've got on the horizon. I do like Cancelo, I do like Guerrero. Yeah, I'm maybe just going to go Cancelo. Can I bring him in for 14 points? That leaves me then with 20. Now, I do not need a goalkeeper because I was very fortunate to win a Diego Costa. I've still got Emi Martinez in reserve, so I don't need to figure a goalkeeper. Is there a forward? What's the cheapest goalkeeper? Let's go and get him locked in. 7 points, okay, so we'll go and take him. There's a Rui Patricio there for 8. So if I've got a point left over, I'll go back and get the Patricio because that then is a wee handcuff for me. So on 13 points, I could pick up a Julian Alvarez. Felix. I do have a lot of Portugal going on, so it would make... So Portugal will have France in the next round. I'm then getting probably... I'm then definitely stacking my chances up of having a team for the final then, haven't I? So I've got French forwards, so I need to get a French midfielder and a goalkeeper or something. So at 13 points or 12 points, who's the best kind of guy? Yeah, there's nobody. Gabriel Jesus, by the way, 10 points, but he's not really featured so much in this tournament yet, has he? Do you know, I've just realised I can stack in the whole port. So I'm going to bring Patricio in as a handcuff, and then I can bring in Goncalo Ramos, who I'd probably say is more likely to start that game, isn't he, than Ronaldo after the last round. So when we go Diego Costa in goals, in defence, Cancelo... I go all Portugal here. Bernardo Silva up front. I'm taking Richarlison, definitely. And then, yeah, I definitely want to stick with Griezmann. So, yeah, I think this is the way we go. And then who would I captain? I think, yeah, the AA potential on Griezmann with just an assist or something is just too big to ignore. So I'm going to captain him. But, yeah, I actually really like this team for the next round. So there we go. We're expecting Richarlison and Griezmann to get in amongst the forward action. If Cancelo and Bernardo Silva can do likewise, and Diego Costa can have one of his magical performances in between the posts and walk out with a clean sheet, then again, I'm feeling like this team could be right in amongst it. I've got XP on my side for really just the Griezmann, I suppose. Not really much else. So if there's similar teams picked to this, I'm not sure I'll edge them out if some of these cards have been in teams since the group stages. At the moment, the podium on the Global Cup 3001, my private league, is Sadowski, who's sitting top on 1,533 points. Kevin 23 is in second, and Pavel M is sitting in third. Not too far off the podium, but we've got Lark Hall Racing and Sorare Josh, who is open to trades, which is cool to see. Now, for the members, the FC Barcelona Foundation, that private league in there, I didn't really hash out exactly the details around the prizes and everything like that. But basically what I've been doing, because we've not had like gallery teams to do giveaways, I've just been throwing some loose cards into this, and basically by the time the competition finishes, however many limiteds I've got in here, we'll be giving that away to the members in the FC Barcelona one. So I mean, we might get to a situation where we've got like a top 10 or something. But yeah, There's like a top 10 already. So we'll see how we get on over the next couple of game weeks as well before that competition ends. Let me know who you're picking in for this game week. Who is the fixture that you're going to be targeting and you're building your extra draft around? Good luck for this game week. And later on today, of course, we've got a huge announcement from Sorare. So stay tuned to the channel for all the aftermath and insight that will come from that. At any point in the video, if you did laugh, learn, like something, I don't know. I hope you did like and subscribe. Share, retweet if you can. I'll see you on the next one.